I found out that the credit card that you guys all have in your wallet, yeah, look at it. Check it out. Because Bank of America literally tested out Fresno.
Fresno?
Yeah. They tested out 6,000 credit cards here in Fresno. And mind you, they sent the cards to people in Fresno without even letting them know. And Fresno decided to use those cards. Literally. And back then, they didn't have credit cards at all. J.P. Williams, who was the creator of Bank of America, wanted to test it out. And he said, we're going to drop it out in Fresno. And mind you, they called it the Fresno Drop, meaning it's a massive sending out credit cards to different people or places. Hi, my witches and norms. Welcome to WitchDarkTales podcast. We are your hostess. I'm Moon Witch.
Miguel, hi.
And on today's podcast, we're going to be talking about Fresno Unknown History. Now, before we get straight into the podcast, I do want to say we did take a month off because, I decided to move. And we got a new setup.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think? We're still working on it, but I hope you guys like it. But within today's podcast, we're going to be talking about a professor who came to Fresno, and he was actually a Nazi.
Nazi.
And then also McDonald's first franchise
here in Fresno.
In Fresno on Blackstone and Shields. And then Bank of America actually tried their credit cards on us, and then it started going viral.
Don't forget about Greenbush.
Oh, Fresno's original name. But with that being said, follow, like, subscribe, and let's get straight into the podcast. I just popped my name. I found out that there was a professor named Carl Leonard Falk, F-A-L-K, who was actually a professor at Fresno State.
Damn.
So the history was, he was born in Berkeley, and then he had a scholarship where he went to Germany. And here's the thing, his job was to translate German to English, and vice versa, from English to German for Hitler.
No, Hitler?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And then his career started with Hitler in 1933, where he came to Fresno in 1938.
38.
Mm-hmm.
That's a long time.
Yeah, a very long time. And what I find amusing to me was I never learned about this in history class whatsoever.
Yeah, well, they don't really show a lot of history that's, Fresno related. It's just a worldwide thing.
Yes. Like, off topic, we've just finished talking about the Fresno Fairgrounds. Do you remember how the fact that it was an internment camp for the Japanese? Like, we didn't learn, well, I didn't learn about that in English class. I didn't learn about that in history class whatsoever.
I know they talked about it, but I don't think they ever mentioned Fresno was part of it. Yeah.
Well, oh, that's right. After the Pearl Harbor.
Yeah.
Again, everything we talk about is just pure speculation, and, our knowledge that we research. Check the description box, and we'll place everything there for you. But back to the topic. So, Carl Leonard Falk moved to Fresno in 1938, where he actually was a professor at Fresno State. And I found out that he would dethrone the teacher faculty, like if they went against him. And also the students that would try to, like, no, don't do that to my teacher. He would literally kick them out of school. In 1950, he was appointed household of authority, where he actually started his own political power. He tried to cause a division here in Fresno, California.
Wow.
And what I mean by that was he got the seat, and he tried to, divide Fresno and try to be, okay, it's not going to be a beautiful place, but we're going to make it where we're going to talk about politics. And I'm going to make Fresno into something that it's going to be bigger than anywhere else. And what I mean by that is that he's going to try to, make all the supremacist people come out and try to take over Fresno.
Yeah, maybe try to, make people agree with what Hitler wants to do.
And that's what he was learning from. And off topic, which is crazy to me, which is crazy, listen to this. He was trained by Hitler, and one of Hitler's training was that you do whatever you got to do to the victims. And again, I'm not going to use their names or, He said, do whatever you got to do to them and make sure it's the worst that they've ever seen and witnessed. As in, them, I don't want to say it like that because I don't want to, trigger anybody. But he basically wanted them to
pretty much torture them.
Yeah, torture them to so much that the generation that was there, like the people that was there, witnessed everything. And he said, if you don't do it, we're going to get you instead, because that means you have a soft spot for them. And from what I read. But
wow, that's crazy.
what do you think about that?
I think it's pretty much like some things that we have experienced, I guess you can say, where we have a lot of people who wants us to take their side. So, whether if it's like they want to make everyone to be Christianity, or they want to make everyone to be specifically Catholic, or take Republic side or take Democrat side. So it's like the same thing with this, like trying to include a group of people to just become Nazi. That's just crazy.
But what I don't understand is too, which is messed up. At the end of the day, we're all human. Human. We live, eat, breathe, put our pants on together, all at a different time. Well, at the same time. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
But the fact that you're out there trying to hurt somebody because of their religion or race or color or whatever, it's a no to me. And again, I don't promote anything here that's going to hurt people in a racial slur. But I just want to say, don't do that. That's somebody's family.
Consider everyone's opinion. You don't try to overstep things because you don't feel like it's correct.
Yeah. We don't judge, but when it comes to hurting people, that's where you're crossing a boundary.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Well, drop down a comment, let us know.
So, one story that I found out is that actually McDonald's has here in Fresno, we actually had one of the first McDonald's ever. That was franchised. So
wait, franchise. Wait, so all McDonald's are not the same?
I think they're not different because they are owned by different people or different companies, so it's not like all just the same.
Corporate versus franchise. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Back to the topic.
But specifically here in Fresno, it was owned by Ray Kroc, and this was back in 1955. He began taking over the chain of McDonald's, and it was probably the only ones that has a golden arch. Yeah.
Oh,
so the M, that's right
yeah. So we started the golden arch here.
What?
Fresno.
And then I guess like in a lot of locations right now they don't really have that anymore. So McDonald's, we still have it.
Yeah, well, the building that I know there now, they destroyed it and then they put a new one because McDonald's, no matter what, whether it's a franchise or corporate, even now, I don't know if it's still bought over by a corporate, but they still have to upgrade their look to match the generation now.
True that.
Do you remember when McDonald's used to be all beautiful and colorful, red and all that stuff? Now it looks like gray. It looks like it's dead.
Yeah, I know.
Well, not like that, but the
I
color.
guess you could say more modernized.
Yeah, modern, but
modernized culture.
It used to be a place for fun, and now it's not fun.
Yeah, so this art was built in 1950s, and then when 1970s came, the whole restaurant was demolished and rebranded or redone, to make it more current, like you were saying. Do you remember how much it used to be back then?
Babe, I'm 1994. I don't even know how much McDonald's was back then.
How much do you think it was back then?
I don't know, like $1, $2?
Actually, very less than that. So the highest item there was 21 cents, and that was a milkshake.
That's the most expensive one?
And then fries were 10 cents, Coke and coffee were 10 cents. And then hamburgers were 12 and cheeseburgers were 10 cents.
Wait, so with $1 I could have got hella burgers?
You could have gotten probably a whole stack of them.
Did you guys know that McDonald's used to be cheap as heck? Wait, but was this a franchise or corporate prices?
I would think they should I think they'll match up with.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Thing.
Because they don't want to outsell each other.
But then at the same time, it's like also depends like locations you live in and what's the wage there or what's the living situation there. So they're probably like, fix it.
Yeah, they're probably trying to like even it out with each other. But I didn't know that about McDonald's.
Yeah.
And this is on Blackstone and Shields?
So this is on Blackstone and Shields. And till this day, we still have that right there.
Should we go visit?
Well, we've been there a couple times.
Well, okay, no lie. Because every time we finish the podcast, and this is true, you guys, every time we finish the podcast, we would go to McDonald's. No, we finish the podcast, we go out to the bar, and we have a little drink, and then we would go to McDonald's, a McDonald's run, and I always get the $5 meal.
Mm-hmm.
Is it $5 meal?
$5 to $6 meals, yeah.
Yeah, the $5-6 meal. Isn't me chicken though? I ain't gonna lie. But drop down a comment, let me know. Did you guys know that Fresno had the first McDonald's that was franchised on Blackstone and Shields and had its own golden arch before other McDonald's created that? Drop down a comment, let us know.
Yeah, let's go to McDonald's.
Yeah, let's go to McDonald's. Well, let's get on to our next story where we're gonna be talking about Fresno's first original name. Instead of Fresno, it was called Greenbush Spring.
Greenbush.
Yeah! What the heck?
That's what I say.
So on to our next story, we're going to be talking about Fresno's original name. It was called Greenbush Spring. Well, it says right here, the area that is now Fresno, California, was once called Greenbush Spring because of a natural spring and bush that provided water for the wild animals. A monument marks the spot of the spring, which is near the intersection of Fulton and Mariposa Street. But they tore it down. It used to be a water canal thing, and now it's just a road.
Yeah, that's boring.
And the monument wrote, a humble marker near Fulton Street tells the story of how wild horses, a natural spring, and a bush shaped the beginning of what would become the 5th largest city in Fresno. Fresno is the 5th largest city at the time.
I think it still is probably like around there.
Because I know when we go to the Fresno sign, it says Fresno and it says Little Big City, right? Mm-hmm. I didn't know that. I imagine, hi, I'm from Greenbush Spring. Where are you from? Can you just imagine that? I'm done with this. I'm sorry, but you guys, when doing these history like searches, it amazed to me still that no matter what, we try to move from Fresno to different cities, and we always end up coming back to Fresno, not because of hauntings, but because of history. When how we found out about the first house.
Yeah.
Or remember Zapp's Park.
There's a lot of stories here. We'll keep finding more.
And many more to come. But let's get straight on to the next story. I know that was a short one, but that's all we can find. And for you to go see the sign is downtown. That's all you got to look for. But let's get on to the next story.
Yeah.
Our fourth story, we're going to be talking about Bank of America. So, I found out that the credit card that you guys all have in your wallet, look at it. Check it out. Because Bank of America literally tested out Fresno.
Fresno?
Yeah. They tested out 6,000 credit cards here in Fresno. And mind you, they sent the cards to people in Fresno without even letting them know. And the people in Fresno decided to use those cards. Literally. And back then, they didn't have credit cards at all. J.P. Williams, who was the creator of Bank of America, wanted to test it out. And he said, we're going to drop it out in Fresno. And mind you, they called it the Fresno Drop, meaning it's a massive sending out credit cards to different people or places. And after I found that out, it said right here, exactly on September 18th, 1958, Bank of America sent out 60,000 credit cards to Fresno residents without them knowing. But before mailing out the cards also, more than 300 residents agreed to accept the credit cards.
Well, yeah, I'm thinking free money.
True. I wanted my mom to accept that credit card. I don't know. I'm going to ask her. Then by October 1959, Bank of America had issued more than 2 million credit cards in California. Since then, they started out in Fresno and moved on to the other cities. And then it said right here, which is crazy to me, the good part about having the credit card was that the Fresno Drop paved the way for modern credit card network like Visa and MasterCard. And also, on the limit was $500.
Wow.
What?
500?
$500.
That's a lot. I feel like that's a lot back then.
The bad side of the Fresno Drop was that the experiment led to chaos, fraud, and high delinquency rate. And then merchants or people who were buying things were angry about the 6 transaction fees. Well, 6%.
Yeah.
Criminals began making copies of the card. How do you make copies of the card?
Back then, too.
Wait, back then was it paper or... Was it paper? Was it paper? Was it paper?
Probably.
Off topic though, I was watching Home Alone in December, right? This is in December. I was watching Home Alone, and you guys remember the scene where, what's his name? Kevin? He went to the the hotel. I forgot what hotel it was. And he walked in there and he goes, "Hi, I'm here to get a hotel." And the lady goes, "Where's your dad?" Anyways, long story short, he gave the credit card to that lady and she grabbed this machine, put the credit card, and she went, "Ka-choo." I'm like, so does that mean the credit card back in the days was not how we use it now? Like, when we put it into the machine?
I think back in the day, no. I think back in the day they had to use that a lot because technically I think they use it like checking, you know, the checkings. I don't think anyone uses it anymore.
No, I just agreed because I don't know what that was.
But it's like the checkings, you know, it takes a while for them to figure that out or to get the money from the card. So I feel like that's how, you know, that's probably how they come in from.
Well, because basically back then we didn't have that much technology like we do now. Because I know back then they couldn't do that, but for us, we can get on our phone and go, "Oh, let me see how much I spent today." Right?
Or even just go phone tap.
I'm not gonna lie though, because 6% now it's like 29%.
Around there.
So if you guys have a credit card, y'all understand. Ooh, it's getting hot, and we're really in spring, aren't we? Or winter?
We're still in winter.
Oh yeah, well spring's coming.
Technically winter.
Well, I know that the groundhog saw himself, so we got 4 more weeks of winter, or whatever. How do groundhog know when it's 4 weeks of winter when they saw themselves?
I think they just feel it. Or that they're, I don't know.
Well, I blame you, groundhog. Oh, can I say that?
Well, I prefer winter than summer, to be honest.
True.
So, but it doesn't even feel like winter anyways.
No.
It feels like summer already.
Right. It's hot, but it's warm at the same time. I'm not going to lie. I was sleeping the other day for like 24 hours. Because the weather made me like groggy or whatever. I think it's groggy.
Something like that.
Oh, my makeup's smutting. But anyways, so you guys, we're going to end the podcast. But before we let you guys go, Miguel, what did you learn today about Fresno Unknown History?
It's crazy how we have an alleged Hitler follower in Fresno.
Yes, and I love that. So, before we end the podcast, I want to give a shout out to everyone that we saw at Didi's and other places. You guys really make us not excited, but want to keep going because it gives us that
a feeling that we're being seen and we're being heard, and people are listening to us.
And not only are we talking about haunted places, but also and true crimes, but we're also talking about the history. Sorry, we're also talking about the history, and we're sharing this with the future generation. And I'm glad that you guys are here to watch, and maybe you can share this with your kids as well. Well, you know, not the adult language part, but yeah. But with that being said, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next Sunday on WitchDarkTales podcast, and on every Monday will be the audio. Blessed be everyone. Bye.